Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, Daughter of Increase. My name is Denise for those of you who are new to the channel or who just happen to stumble across this video. And I'm the founder and CEO of Daughter of Increase Ministries, that is DOI Ministries. And here on this channel, I hope you guys to increase in your faith and relationship with God in Christ through Bible studies, book reviews, discussions, and more. And I do that by posting twice a week, every Wednesday and Saturday, and occasionally on Tuesdays. So, if you have not done so already, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and click the bell to stay notified of when I post a new video, to like this video, and to also share this video on your social media platforms with a family member and or with a friend. And as the title says above, this is going to be my October TBR, mainly for the journey through the Bible Readathon that is hosted by Katie over at Paperback and Ponytails. And I'm so excited for this readathon. This is round 2 if I'm not mistaken. I just need to open up my iPad, and excuse me if I sound a little sick with this weather and me not properly having a correct jacket. I just been getting sick off and on. It's just, life has been lifing, okay? Life has been lifing, and I know a lot of you guys are like, well, what's going on? I keep you guys mainly up to date on Instagram, so again, follow me on Instagram. Information is here, but I post a lot on my stories with school and life and things like that. And so, last week, you guys know my son was back in the hospital. If you follow me on Instagram, he was back in the hospital, and then some things transpired with that situation, so yeah, I know I said I was going to have more information in September. However, our court date was pushed back to November. So I'm not stalling on you guys with that. It's literally things are like just moving the way that they're moving. And until things are finalized on paper, I don't want to speak on anything further, especially with how finicky things are right now. It is very much a hard situation to deal with and to understand. But trust me, once things are finalized, I can give you guys all the information, what's been going on, and help a lot of you out there who are kind of in similar situations as far as like co-parenting and not having a official like residential parent or something like that. So once that is finalized, hopefully in November, I can give you guys the information for that. But yeah, and then after we took our son to the hospital, I ended up getting sick. So I was sick last Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, up until almost like Thursday, and then I still had a sore throat up until like Saturday. And so I was able to get the Bible review up for you guys on the Thompson Chain Reference handy size. It wasn't a review per se, more of like a showing what it is. I am gonna have those walkthrough videos of how I use it soon. But yeah, and then this week the weather has just been weathering. When we bipolar, it want to rain all day, then it want to be 70 degrees, then it want to be 50 degrees. So my nose is stuffy again. I'm over it. And so I'm not like sick, it's just my nose is stuffed up. So I apologize if I sound weird or if I have a hard time like breathing, but it is what it is. But yeah, so we are here to do this video, which I'm super excited about. And I'm just pulling everything up. So yeah, it is by Katie, and again, I will leave a link in the cards for the to go to her video, but it's the Journey Through the Bible Christian Fiction Readathon, which I am so excited to be a part of round 2. And so the way that she sets it up is so fun. If I can pop the picture in, I will. Let me just try to close that. Okay, so this is the photo of like the map, if you will, right? There's a map, and there are 5 different prompts, and within the 5 prompts there range from 4 to almost like 7 different things that you can do, and pretty much you really only have to read 5 books for this readathon. But y'all know me, and I ain't been reading, and I'm like 30 something books behind. Let me see how many books behind. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, because I ain't been reading. I mean, I've been reading for school, but books, So according to this, I am 36 books behind on my reading. Y'all think I'm lying? 36 books behind schedule, 39 of 100, and I'm currently still in the midst of reading like 4 books, I think. I'm still in the midst of reading The Gift of Tongues. I'm still in the midst of reading Dance into the Anointing, and I'm still in the midst of reading Unraveled. So it say 36. I'm really like 39 books into 100, but I'm still like behind. So with this challenge, I want to try to catch up on my reading. School is almost over. We are currently in week 7, so we only have next week, and then we get like a week off before I start my New Testament survey. And so during that week off, I'm really gonna try to like binge read books. I'm gonna try. And I am forgetting a book, so let me go grab that book really quickly, and then I'll continue. All right, and yes, before I get into that, nails. We have new nails. Yes, we love them. They're gorgeous. They're rose gold. They're giving glamour. You guys know I did the white ones. I love these. My only gripe, right, with kiss nails. I have 3 gripes actually with kiss nails. One, some of them are thick enough that they don't bend too easily, and then some are thin. And then you have the matte nails, which I like the matte nails, but sometimes they get those black marks, which can get annoying. And then when you have the glossy ones, sometimes that top coat comes off. So I would recommend, if you get the nails, whether matte or glossy, get a gel top coat, whether it's a matte gel top coat or a glossy gel top coat to put over top of these nails, because they begin to look a little finicky. But I did these, love them, but now I'm doing these gorgeous ones. They are so pretty, so pretty. If you want the number, that's the number there. Y'all know I don't got no problem showing y'all which nails I do. And I think I got this set specifically for my local Rite Aid. I think. Typically, Rite Aids, Walgreens, CVS's, Dwayne Reed's, where else can you get them? Walmart's, probably Target's, beauty supply stores. I shop anywhere for kiss nails. I love my kiss nails, and they just look so good. And it looks like I got them professionally done when we're just popping off nails. So yeah, that's my manicure. And I am going on a mini vacation. And so yeah, that's what we're working with. Yes. Okay. So on to the buddy read, the group read for the readathon that Katie is doing. It is going to be Beautiful Old Pearl in the Sand by Miss Tessa Afshar. I am not actually going to read the book along with them, because y'all know, if you've been a part of DOI since the beginning, y'all know this here, my number 1 favorite book, number 1 biblical favorite book. Biblical fiction. This is specifically the 10th anniversary edition, which is I think the only edition you can get now. I do have a copy of the original book. So this was the original copy that came out. Oof. When did this come out? Let's see. 2010. Yeah, so 2010 this copy came out. I read through this copy so many times. Y'all see my tabs. That's how I used to tab. And I mean, I marked it up. This book is just life to me. It helps me out, and it really made me fall in love with biblical fiction. But the 10th anniversary edition is so gorgeous. I think the only difference really is that they took the guy out, made the girl a lot more bigger and prettier. And not to say that she's not pretty, but like, I don't know how to describe it, but it looks like I don't know, it looks like a photo that was like scanned, and this one looks like an actual photograph that was taken, if that makes sense. And the cord is still there. It's really pretty, and I just love the like rose gold. I don't know if that's rose gold or bronze foiling, but yeah, this is the group read, which will go along with any of the prompts that you want to do. But yeah, like I said, go to the eye on the cards to go watch Katie's video. But we're gonna go. So I have my 5 specific books I'm gonna be reading, and then I have other prompts that I also want to do, because I'm just that type of person. Don't judge me. And I am going to pull up the information for each book. It's just, you know, I didn't think of this ahead of time, so we thank God that there is editing, right? All right, so first book I have pulled up, and we're ready to rock and roll. But yes, most of the books I'm actually going to be reading will be on my gorgeous Kindle, because I really want to utilize my Kindle, and I've been buying Kindle books a lot. Are Kindle books expensive? They definitely are, but I typically wait till there's a sale, or unless there's like a Kindle Rewards benefit going on or something like that, like double Kindle Rewards or whatever. But I typically only buy books when they have like the spend $20 on Kindle ebooks and get 300 extra points, because in those points, once you have like at least a minimum of 300 points, the 300 points go into $3, and then you can buy books. And so I think right now I have about $9 in e-credit right now, which is perfection. So yeah, I can't wait to use that. But yeah, I'm gonna be using my Kindle. I haven't put my clear case on, because I put this in another bag the other day. But yeah, I haven't changed my stickers on the back. We love these stickers so much. But all the books mainly are from here. This is actually the book I'm currently reading for class, How to Read the Bible for All It's Worth by Gordon D. Fee and Douglas Stewart. This is literally the book I'm reading for class right now. We have to read chapter 10. They gave us a printable copy of it. I just went on Kindle, and it's actually on Kindle Unlimited. Got it so that I could read it this way and then add my notes to the printable copy that I have. Printed copy that I have of the chapter. I am eventually going to have to order this book though, because apparently this is going to be a book that pops up in all my other classes. So yes, but anywho, let's go. When I open this up, I have a whole collection video already. Collection thing here with all the books I'm going to be reading. And so we can start with this one. So where are you going? There are 5 locations that you can go. There is Egypt, there is Nineveh, there's Babylon, and then there is the Jordan River. So for Egypt, it's a book with a hot setting. Nineveh, it's second chance romance. Babylon is a recent purchase, and Jordan River is character that moves to a new place. And so I'm gonna go with Egypt, a hot setting, and for that I'm gonna go with The Days of Elijah by John Noble or Nobel. Yeah, this book looks so dope. If you guys want to see what the photo looks like in color, there it is. Looks so dope. But yeah, that's the book, and I'm super excited to read this. And let me read the information for you guys, and I'm reading the information directly from Goodreads. But it says, Elijah's friends are dead, and without a miracle, he's next. Elijah is a young prophet studying the Torah when the soldiers of Queen Jezebel burn his school and massacre his teachers. He escapes barely, but finds himself on the run and hunted as Queen Jezebel attempts to stamp out the worship of the Hebrew God in Israel and replace it with the worship of Baal. As the queen's soldiers close in on him, Elijah discovers a little-known promise in the scroll of Deuteronomy and prays for something impossible, that God will turn the skies to bronze and stop the rain on the kingdom that has abandoned him. And God says yes. As drought and famine grip the cloudless land of Israel, God tells Elijah to hide and sends him to the land of Tyre, to a widow and her son who are on the edge of starvation. In Tyre, Elijah finds a darkness at the heart of the city, a darkness that threatens to consume Israel next. But even if he survives, will Israel listen to his warning? This is a reimagining of the story of Elijah from the Bible. And so, yeah, I'm all here for it. I'm excited. I do love the story of Elijah. I definitely have been connecting a lot with Elijah in the past, year and a half. I've been connecting with him a lot. But then recently, studying Ezekiel for class, I was like, ooh, I'm starting to feel like a little bit of Ezekiel and Jeremiah too. Just like, ooh, these prophets they be profiting. That was not proper English, nor was it biblically correct English. But if you get what I'm saying, life be lifing and the prophets be profiting. Period. That's it. Okay. If you understand, if you know, you know. Okay. But yeah, that is the book that I'm going to pick for a book with a hot setting. It's gonna be hot. It's a famine. It's a drought. Ain't no water. Everything hot. So yeah, that's the book for that I am picking. All right. The other prompt that I kind of want to tackle is Babylon, which is recent purchase. I have so many recent purchases, but the one I'm gonna go with is Zimrah, Dream Singer, by Susan Valles. I think that's how you say it. Here's what that looks like, and here's what the cover looks like in color. It's really, really gorgeous, and I've actually been eyeing this for a minute. It is on Kindle Unlimited if you have Kindle Unlimited, and I'm gonna do a whole video on Christian fiction Kindle Unlimited books, because I didn't know that there were so many Christian fiction Kindle Unlimited books. I knew that there were indie books out there for secular readers, which if you're into secular fiction and you're into romances, dark romances and all that, they have them. But the Christian fiction section, what? Fire. But yeah, this was one book that I've been wanting to read for a minute, and so I'm gonna go with that. It says, in the land of ancient Israel, in the days just before the miracles of Jesus Christ began, there lived an orphan girl named Zimrah. Zimrah? I'm saying Zimrah, but I think it's Zimrah. Just from the way it's spelled. A foreigner and a slave with no knowledge of who she is or where she came from, except that she was rescued barely alive and only a week old from a caravan of slavers. Zimrah has many demons to overcome. Living among people that despise her for being different, she finds shelter in the last Jewish house in the city of refuge. Oh, it's a city of refuge. I love the cities of refuge. Okay. Only to find that her master suffers demons of his own. She learns that these dark spirits who have tormented her all her life can not only be battled, but can be defeated when she begins to heed the gentle voice that speaks to her in her dreams. Her obedience to the voice leads her not only to freedom from the fear that stalks her in the night, but to the arms of a loving father who has always been there. Following the voice, Zimrah finds a lyre in the songs that have been hidden for her in her dreams. Singing these dream songs, an inheritance passed on through the bloodline, which she does not know yet, will determine the path to her heart's desires, her future, and her destiny. Assisted by Rebecca and Garber, the warrior angels that guard and protect her, and the love of a Roman officer who she must learn to trust, Zimrah discovers that her life has much more significance than she could have ever dreamed or ever imagined. Her obedience and courage will shake the heavens and stir the hearts of all who touch Zimrah, the dream singer. And honestly, this would also go for the prompt of King David, which we'll talk about in a second. But yeah, Zimrah. I am excited to read that. I've been really dying to read it since I saw it on Kindle Unlimited, and so we have that. So moving on, we have the next prompt, which is, who are you going to meet? Okay, so I'm just pulling up my other book that I have. But who are you going to meet? So there are 7 options for this. There are 7. And you know me, I gotta pick as many as possible. But there's Mary, which is listen to an audiobook, which I'm definitely going to complete. I just don't know which audiobook, so yeah. There's Martha, which is a book with a party or holiday. There is Moses, dual timeline. There is King David, which is character that plays an instrument, which, like I said, I can do Zimrah for that because she does play a lyre, but I have another option for that one, and that's like my second optional book that I'm going to do. We have Rebecca, which is jewelry on the cover. We have Jacob and Esau, which is enemies to more, and Samson, character that has long hair. And so the main one I'm going with is Rebecca, jewelry on the cover, and I'm going to go with the Love Script by Miss Toni Shiloh. And as you can see, she has earrings, a bracelet, and a necklace on. So we gotta do it. We gotta do it. And I love me some Toni Shiloh. Love her books. And so if you want to know what the cover looks like in color, here is the Love Script. So gorgeous. But we are going to get on to what the synopsis says, which I read the synopsis so many times. So here it is. It says, Hollywood hairstylist Nevaeh Richards loves making those in the spotlight shine, but prefers the anonymity of staying behind her stylish chair where no one notices her. But when a photo of Nevaeh and Hollywood heartthrob Lamont Booker goes viral for all the wrong reasons, her quiet life becomes the #1 trending topic. Lamont Booker's bold faith has gained him a platform, and the authenticity of his faith is well known, until the tabloids cause the world to question everything he claims to be. With his reputation on the line, he finds himself hearing out his agent's push for a fake relationship, something he never thought he'd consider in a million years. With their careers at risk, Nevaeh and Lamont have to convince the world that their scripted romance is more than just an act. But when the fake seems to turn into something real, can Nevaeh trust her heart in a world where nothing is ever as it seems? Toni Shiloh dazzles in this irresistible red carpet romance with spotlight, stealing laughter, faith, and happily ever after. And if y'all don't know, I love me some Miss Toni Shiloh. Okay, her contemporary romances are chef's kiss. Okay, I found out about her from her Oloro Ile duology. The first one was In Search of a Prince, and the second one was To Win a Prince. Y'all know I love me some In Search of a Prince. If you're looking for a beautiful, well-written contemporary romance with a black cast of characters, go get it. And so from there, I started reading her other series. I'm currently in the midst of, what is it called? Because I can't remember right now. I'm currently in the midst of reading Faith and Fortune. I'm on book 3, which is The Price of Dreams. Y'all, that 5 stars, solid 5 stars across the board. I will be ordering physical copies of them, but I've been reading them on my Kindle. They have been amazing thus far, and so I have high hopes for the Love Script. But the other one that I said that I wanted to do, let me get to it, is Ezekiel's Song by Naomi Craig. If I can get to the cover on here. here's what that looks like. This one is gonna go for the King David prompts. But Ezekiel's song is actually book 2 in Yahweh's Legacy by Naomi Craig. Here's what the cover looks like in color. And I'm going with it because she is playing flute, I guess that is. I don't know if there's music involved. If not, I will swap it with Zimrah because Zimrah plays the lyre. But it says, a prophet's heart broken, a woman's joy gone. What does Yahweh have planned for his people? On the brink of Jerusalem's demise, devoted priest Ezekiel sees the insecurity of Judah's worship. Despite his efforts to call the people back to true worship of Yahweh, priests, artisans, valiant warriors, and royals are exiled to Babylon. When God gives him messages of continued judgment for the people in his homeland, his heart breaks. How can he minister to the people from so far away? The presence of the Lord is tangible when Shiloh sings, and I think that's how I say her name, Shiloh, sings in the temple, and her voice prepares the hearts of many to worship. When she is exiled to Babylon, her faith is shaken. Does the Lord's presence extend beyond Jerusalem and his holy temple? Ezekiel is struck mute and paralyzed as he begins his prophetic ministry, and Shiloh devises a plan to get the Lord's message back to the unfaithful people of Judah. Shiloh struggles with discontentment as serving the Lord looks nothing like she imagined. Boy, do I know. Do I know? Shiloh, yeah, I said that. I said, so can she provide for her family and carry out her husband's ministry when her joy is gone and her own dreams are placed on hold? How will Yahweh save his people from themselves? Find out in Ezekiel's song. And so I'm pretty sure there's going to be some type of instruments because it's a song and they played instruments, obviously, back then. So we have Ezekiel's song for King David. Like I said, I'm going to be doing the prompt of Mary, which is listen to an audiobook. I just don't know which audiobook right now because we don't know. One of these books I'll be listening to the audiobook as I read, so it'll work out. So moving on, we're going to move on to Witness. Now, for Witness, there are 7 prompts. I'm doing 5. I'm lying. I'm doing 6 of them. Don't judge me. I'm doing 6. Now, I'm committing to 4. But I want to try to tackle the other ones as well. So, let me just open this one up really quick. Alright. So, witness an event, right? There's 7 options. So, there's Jesus is baptized, Sermon on the Mount, the 10 Commandments, the Last Supper, parting of the Red Sea, plagues of Egypt, and handwriting on the wall. So, I'm going to talk about the 4 that I'm definitely going to do, and then we'll talk about the other 2 options that I have. Okay? So, the 4 I'm definitely doing is Jesus is baptized, and for that, I'm going to go with Voice of the Ancient by Miss Connilyn, Cossette. We must. This is the first book in the King's Men. I don't know if it's going to be a duology, trilogy series, but yeah, we must. I done had like 3 copies of this book. It's Connie. Like, right up under Tessa is Miss Connie. And I've read everything that Connie has written. I've read everything that Connie has written. Every trilogy, every duology, every series. And they're amazing, okay? They are amazing. And I'm behind on reading this because this came out a while ago. And school's been kicking my butt and life has been kicking my butt. So we're behind on a lot of things. But we're going to read this. And for that, it was basically like on the cover. And y'all see that light. Y'all see that bright line right there. Right there. Okay, so on the back it says, as the eldest son of a Levite and a Philistine, Abaddon is torn between his duty to his family's legacy and a desire for something more. After an enemy attack strikes close to home, he takes the opportunity to fight with his cousins for the newly crowned King Saul. But when one of his cousins goes missing during the battle, Abaddon refuses to leave them behind. Kizza is the daughter of one of the most powerful clan chiefs in the territory of Manasseh. On the brink of a forced marriage to a loathsome man decades older than her, she has no choice but to run, hoping to find sanctuary with her mother's family. United during their journeys and battling to survive the dangers that surround them, Abaddon and Kizza make a pact to travel together as challenges pile up. They must not only rely on each other to stay alive, but also learn to trust the true and eternal King of Israel to guide their every step. So, I'm excited because I'm pretty sure Kizza is from one of her previous series, which I really believe she is because I remember that name, or the relatives of Abaddon and Kizza are going to be relatives that we have seen in previous books. So I love that all of her books are almost like correlated. You don't have to read them in order, but I would just definitely suggest if you want to get into Connilyn. There's nothing wrong with reading her recent stuff, but I definitely would say read her older books first, because her books read in order just make everything better. Okay, they just make everything better. But we're gonna go with that. For a Sermon on the Mount, it is to read a book in the Bible, or read a book of the Bible. Technically, I already completed this because I gotta read the entire Old Testament for class, and then the entire New Testament for class. Right now we did the major prophets. I only read Jeremiah. No, I only read Lamentations, so I still gotta read Jeremiah. I gotta read all the prophets. I'm behind on my Bible reading, but it's okay because I got time to catch up before my New Testament class. So either way, but I'm committing to studying Joel and Nahum. Those are the books I want to study, but reading a book in the Bible is not a problem because I'm doing it for class. So yeah. Then we have The Ten Commandments, a gifted book. I'm gonna go with Cold Pursuit by Miss Nancy Mehl, another book that came out that I was supposed to review. And yeah, y'all know how I feel about Miss Nancy Mehl. I love her. I can't even see because my blanket is in the way, but I read her Kaylee Quinn Profiler trilogy. Love that so much. Then there is the Chronicle Files trilogy. Enjoy that a lot. And now we have this one, which is the Ryland and St. Clair, I'm assuming a trilogy. But yeah, I can't wait to dive into this. So this is going to be romantic suspense about obviously a FBI profiler. Yeah, she writes a lot about FBI profilers, and because I love Criminal Minds and the BAU, and I'm also into like the shows like Law and Order SUV, or SVU, I mean, and then I love Blue Bloods, and I like those kind of like cop shows. I like NCIS as well, but they kind of like drag on for me. So I like those kind of shows, and so her books really read like I'm watching a Criminal Minds episode. Like, we love it. But ex-FBI profiler River Ryland still suffers from PTSD after a case went horribly wrong. Needing a fresh start, she moves to St. Louis to be near her ailing mother and opens a private investigation firm with her friend and former FBI partner, Toni St. Clair. They're soon approached by a grieving mother who wants them to find out what happened to her teenage son who disappeared 4 years ago. River knows there's almost no hope the boy is still alive, but his mother needs closure, and River and Toni need a case, no matter how cold it might be. But as they follow the boy's trail, which gets more complicated at every turn, they find themselves in the path of a murderer determined to punish anyone who gets in his way. As River and Toni race to stop him before he kills again, an even more dangerous threat emerges, stirring up the past that haunts River and plotting an end to her future. So, I'm excited for that. Miss Nancy doesn't disappoint me at all, so we can't wait. Okay. Then the fourth prompt that I'm actually going to be doing is going to be Plagues of Egypt, which is a book that's part of a series. And for that, I'm going with Anchored Hearts by Tracee Lydia Garner. And let me just show you guys what that cover looks like in color. Okay. So I want to read a lot more Black urban Christian fiction books. It's just something that I've been wanting to do. And so I found this one on Kindle Unlimited as well. I think it was Kindle Unlimited, and then I just purchased it. But it says, will an old love make it this time around? Despite her prestigious professional role, Alontis, I'm probably butchering her name, Alontis Baxter's private life is in shambles. She just broken up with her no-good boyfriend. Her adopted mother figure is dying in the hospital, and now she's been turned down in an attempt to adopt a child of her own. Plus, Alontis's old flame, Cole Parker, has returned to their hometown from New York City, causing her dilemmas to multiply as old feelings are rekindled. What does it mean to be a family? When a series of chance encounters at work fling her into the middle of a mysterious scandal, Alontis realizes she's caught up in a dangerous game that could send her chaotic life up in flames. Struggling to keep the pieces of her own life together while protecting those she loves, Alontis is forced to confront the true meaning of family and to face some demons of her own. And so, yeah, it just sounds really, really interesting. Second chance romance, new romances emerging, and things like that. And so I'm super, super excited to dive into this. And again, it's a Black author. So I do want to really read more Black Christian fiction authors. I do have a shelf on my bookshelf with black Christian authors, but I don't have a lot of fiction authors. I have a lot more that are like nonfiction books that I definitely am going to dive into, but I really want to find more, because a lot of people have asked me, do I have any recommendations? And like, there's Toni Shiloh, I have I never could pronounce her name, but the woman that wrote Start Praying, which I'm still waiting on book 2 to come out for that. And then there is a middle grade series that I have that I read, but I don't go out beyond that, and those are mainly mainstream. I want to try to find some indie ones. So yeah, we have that. Okay, so moving on to the 2 that I said I'm gonna do that are optional. Like, I want to try to get them done if I can. Alright, so we have Parting of the Red Sea, a book that lays flat. And for this, Katie said that it could be an ebook and audiobook because it lays flat. And so for that, I'm going to go with The Girl Who Sees Angels by Jeffery McClain Jones. It's the first book in the Sophie Ramos trilogy. I cannot find the color image, so if I can, I'll pop it up right here, because it's not going to show up on Goodreads for some reason. It's showing an old cover, which we're not going to show that. But it says, Sophie Ramos has always had visions, perceptions of beings others don't see. Even her mother doubted her as a child. Psychiatrists doubted her too. Psychics tried to recruit her to enrich and empower themselves. Now she's 32. Hey, I'm 32. Out, living on her own and sharing her secret only with her mother and a few friends. A threatening specter begins to visit her at night, and more than her sleep is at stake. She follows a friend's recommendation to visit Data Washington, a church lady who believes that Sophie does see angels and demons. Even if Sophie is skeptical about the labels Data uses for what she sees, she comes to respect Data and finds a way to use her gift to help others. When she helps free Data from an incurable disease and releases 2 of her friends from creepy creatures shadowing them, Sophie starts to embrace her identity. But she still needs help with the ghoul that hovers above her bed at night. And that's not the last enemy who threatens her in the dark. Anthony, Data's handsome son, helps Sophie understand his mother's religious language. I'm assuming that's speaking in tongues. And he becomes convinced that Sophie is for real. After years of doubt and frequent commitments to mental hospitals, Sophie's mother comes to trust her daughter's visions as well. Recovering from a life of being condemned as a crazy person, Sophie finds new confidence. She is gifted, and she is a girl who sees angels. Oh! I cannot wait to read this. Okay, I'm super excited now, because it's definitely something when you can see spirits. It's something even more when you can see angels. I actually can see spirits. I don't enjoy seeing spirits. They're not fun to see spirits. It's not fun at all. I know a little girl from my church who actually can see angels. But yeah, I'm excited to read this. I can't wait. I cannot wait even more. So this is almost like a Christian sci-fi fantasy-ish story, and I'm here for it. And she my age. I'm 32, she's 32, we here for it. So can't wait for that one. Then the last prompt, the 6th prompt I'm going to be doing is handwriting on the wall. And so for that, it is to read a book and write a review. And so I'm going to go with this book here, because it's another book that I have been eyeing, and it's absolutely stunning to me, and I think it's the most gorgeous cover in the world, and it makes me want to get back into doing my book to look makeup tutorials that I used to do on the channel. If you don't know what I'm talking about, click the I would literally make a makeup look based on a book that I read and give you guys like a review. But here it is, A Still Small Voice. This is written by Rachel C. Duncan, and here is what that cover looks like in color. So this is the first book in the Crowning Crescendo. I do actually plan on getting the other books. I think book 4 is the cover that I really love a lot. But this is biblical fiction that I know for a fact. So it says, a timeless biblical truth in a Christian romance exuding the power of God's love and everlasting faithfulness. Jerusalem, an ancient city, is a land cloaked in mystery, legend, and intrigue. Within the heart of this age-old city dwells a lovely young woman. Julia, as whimsical and restless as the great city itself, has a head full of dreams and adventure and romance, in a vision clouded by a daring young man of striking countenance, flashing eyes, and broad shoulders. Residing in a magnificent villa, nestled comfortably within the imperial upper city, Julia knows no other life than the plush, comfortable one she shares with her mother, her wealthy merchant father, and a vast array of household staff to meet her every need. But her perfect world is sure to be shattered if she insists upon wedding the handsome guard who protects her father's wares, a reckless man with whom she has fallen hopelessly in love with. Uncover the secrets of Jerusalem's ancient allure and embark on a heartfelt journey of love and devotion, where one young woman's destiny hangs in the balance, caught between the enchanting whispers of adventure and the resounding echoes of steadfast faith. So yeah, I'm excited for this. Again, another book that I found off of Kindle Unlimited. I'm definitely going to do that video really soon. But yeah, we have that. Okay, so moving on to the next couple of prompts. The second to last one is something has happened. And so there are 4 options. There is tempted to eat the forbidden fruit, fight a giant, frogs in the house, or exiled. And so I'm committing to 3 of these prompts for sure. So I actually need a book that I forgot. So let me go grab that other book and then I'll come back. Okay, so for Tempted to Eat the Forbidden Fruit, it's a villainous character. For that, I'm going to go with Whirlwind by Donna McNeely, which is the second book of the Whispers on the Wind. I don't know if it's a trilogy or series. Here's what the cover looks like in color. Okay, I want to read this because I really loved Rain, which was book 1. I did receive a copy of this for review, and then I received the sequel for review, but then the sequel came out. And so, yeah, I have this. And this one was about Avon, Baal. It was about Elijah, and basically when he went up against, I believe, the prophets of Baal. Yeah, when they didn't have any of the rain, like when they had no rain, the drought and the famine and stuff. And I really, really enjoyed this. I think I gave it a 5 or a 4 star rating. I couldn't remember. But I really, really enjoyed that. And so I'm ready to dive into Whirlwind, which is book 2. Elijah, I don't know if he's in this, but I know that it's following a character named Dove that I really loved. So we have that. It says, a king's downfall and a love that transcends war. Spurned by potential suitors, Miriam travels to Jezreel to care for her cousin's son. There, the precocious 7-year-old works his way into her heart. When the Arameans swarm the land like locusts, Miriam focuses on the safety of her young ward, but promises adventure beyond the city walls when the war ends. Gershon, a quiet and kind vintner, is happily building a life for his wife, son, and aging parents. But when his wife dies during childbirth and war looms on the horizon, he must make a decision. Will he take a new wife before his heart can mend? Meanwhile, though we love him from book 1, a young officer crossed paths with the bird girl he remembers from the past. That she is a beautiful woman matters not, as he is a career soldier. Unexpectedly charged with leading Ahab's army against the Arameans, Dove anticipates death and defeat in Samaria. But when a prophet pledges victory, Dove vows to fight to the end. When an unlikely victory brings freedom, a bright future seems imminent. Then one afternoon, Miriam witnesses a tragedy and must flee with the boy to keep them both safe. With henchmen on her trail, will they find refuge in her heart, the home she longed for? So, Whirlwind, I'm super, super excited to continue on with that. I really enjoyed Donna's writing. I did have a reading vlog posted for Rain. If you haven't seen that, go watch it. I really did enjoy this book, so I'm super, super excited to dive into the sequel. And so then I'm going to also be diving into The Price of Dreams. But I'm going to get to that because I got to tell you the prompt. So I'm going to be doing Frogs in the House. It's hot to it. Read a book that has been on your TBR a while. And like I said, I'm going to be doing The Price of Dreams by Miss Toni Shiloh. So here's what that looks like. And that's what the cover looks like in color. But this is book 3, the final book in the Faith and Fortune trilogy. And I am loving it so far. It is absolutely cute. But it says, ballet has always been my life, but one terrible moment may have destroyed everything I've worked so hard for, especially my title of Octavia Ricci, Principal Ballerina. I thought for sure my physical therapist, Dr. Noah Wright, could help me obtain my dream once more, but he wants more than I'm prepared to give. I've seen firsthand the trials of interracial relationships. I'm a product of one myself, and I promise I never put my hopefully someday kids through that drama. Everyone keeps telling me to let go of other people's expectations, but I'm not sure that I can. Besides, if my dreams of returning to ballet are futile, what hope is there in seeking unconditional love? The Price of Dreams is the third and final book in the Christian chick lit series, Faith and Fortune. And so, yeah, I am loving Octavia right now and Noah and the banter, and it definitely is a interracial relationship between a black girl and an Italian guy, and she is also the byproduct of a black and Italian mom and dad. And so, yeah, I'm super excited about finishing this book. I was supposed to finish it. I didn't finish it. We're not gonna talk about it. We just not. Okay, life has been lifing. I am currently 20% of the way through with this book, so that's all there is to it. 20% of the way through, and we gonna finish it. And so we are almost done. The third prompt, is Exiled, which is an indie published book, and it's another book by Mr. Jeffery McClain. I don't know if he just is like great at what he does. He must just be amazing at what he does. And I don't know what it is and why these editions on here look so weird. But if I can find a cover, like the color cover of it, I'll post it here. But I'm gonna go with indie published Keep on Asking by Jeffery McClain Jones. You guys know that I'll be reading his other book, which is A Girl Who Sees Angels. This one is Keep on Asking. It's the first book in the Prayer Writers trilogy. And so, yeah, this one is more middle grade, which I'm super excited about this one. So it says, his brother's tragic accident drives him to his knees. As he begs for restoration, he is lifted beyond hope and imagination to where miracles are rare. His brother in a coma, 10-year-old Josiah Winslow faces the hardest weeks of his life. Little Maddie may not survive. If he does survive, he may have serious brain damage. Praying. That's what his family is doing, what their church is doing. As Josiah struggles to imagine the power of those prayers, a celestial visitor takes him on a miraculous ride into the realm where petitions rise toward heaven and the enemies fight to oppose them. Josiah's glimpse into the spiritual battle zone inspires his faith, but it also reveals that Maddie's life is in the balance. What if people don't pray enough or don't have enough faith? What will Josiah do if Maddie doesn't wake up? Keep on Asking is the first book in the Prayer Writer series. What happens when we pray? Why aren't some prayers answered the way we hope or expect? One family's experience, one boy's journey, offers a portal into those mysteries and a hope for those willing to keep on asking, which is book 1, keep on seeking, which is book 2, and keep on knocking, which is book 3. And so, yeah, I'm here for it. I love a good, like, Christian fantasy book. I'm a fantasy lover, and so finding more Christian fantasies and sci-fis is definitely something I'm looking into. And for me, this being a middle grade about prayer and just the celestial realm of like prayer and the battle between angels and demons and how they stop prayers and how we get prayers through and how the angels answer, like, I'm so excited. This is almost giving like a middle grade version insight look of those books by, well, I can't remember this man's name. I'm going to pop the cover here because I cannot think and I cannot find that book on my shelf right now. But I can't think. But this book here, y'all know this book because I talked about this book. This Present Darkness. That book. Yeah, this is giving like middle grade version of This Present Darkness. But we have that. All right. And then the last prompt is, how do you escape? For that, the only prompt is pray and Jesus will help you, reader's choice. For that, I'm going to possibly go with The Alchemist. Possibly by Paulo Coelho. I don't know. This is the 25th anniversary edition. It is a classic. I want to try to get one classic in a month. I just do. This one has been raved about by many people. A lot of believers have read this book and said that it inspired their faith. And so I don't think this was intentionally written as a Christian fiction book, but many Christian fiction believers have read it and have learned so much from it. And so on the inside flap it says, Paulo Coelho's enchanting novel, I hope that's how you say his name, enchanting novel has inspired a devoted following around the world. This story, dazzling in its powerful simplicity and soul-stirring wisdom, is about an Andalusian shepherd boy named Santiago who travels from his homeland in Spain to the Egyptian desert in search of a treasure buried near the pyramids. Along the way, he meets a gypsy woman, a man who calls himself king, and an alchemist, all of whom point Santiago in the direction of his quest. No one knows what the treasure is, or if Santiago will be able to surmount the obstacles in his path. But what starts out as a journey to find worldly goods turns into the discovery of treasure found within. Lush, evocative, and deeply humane, the story of Santiago is an eternal testament to the transforming power of our dreams and the importance of listening to our hearts. And so, yes, that is my pick for that. So, those are my books. I am excited. Will I get through all these? I'm not sure, which is why I'm committing to 5. The 5 I'm committing to are The Alchemist. Well, I'm actually committing to more than 5 books, but I'm definitely committed to The Alchemist. I am committing myself to Whirlwind by Donna McNeely. I'm committing myself to Cold Pursuit by Nancy Mehl, or Mehl. I'm committing myself to Voice of the Ancient by Connilyn Cossette. I'm committing myself to The Love Script by Toni, Shiloh. And I'm committing myself to The Days of Elijah. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 books I'm committing to of the 5 prompts. But obviously I have books for other prompts as well. But yeah, that is it. This was a long video. It's going to be a lot to edit because I had a lot of pauses. But yeah, I'm going to go so I can make another video. The next video will most likely be what's in my school bag because we need to discuss that with the semester ending. So that will be the next video. Sorry that my video scheduling has been all over the place. Life has just been lifing, and it's the reality of my life right now, and it sucks. I miss recording videos how I used to and having the time to make them, but between getting sick and congested, life is just life. Like, life still has to go on with me being in school, and it ain't working. And I don't want to pull back my days. I like my Wednesday, Saturday schedule. It's just a matter of me finding a day to just bulk record and then edit as need be. But yeah, I'm gonna go. I might have a sort of day in a life vlog for you guys on my vacation. Maybe, we'll see. Because I'm going away. And I'm excited for my upcoming vacation. I'm really, really excited. It's either going to be a story time that I give you guys or a vlog. Don't know. And I know a lot of you guys have been asking me if I'm going to talk about the romance that is brewing. Yes, I will do a sit down story time how that happened, because that was completely unexpected. Like, it wasn't something that I was looking for. It was nothing he was even looking for. We have mutual friends, and that's how we met. So yeah, it's been amazing. I've been enjoying it thus far, and it's honestly been refreshing. You guys know I have been single almost 4 years. 3 years. I've spoken to people here and there, but that was like me looking. This was like, I wasn't looking. I was over it. I was like, it is what it is, Jesus. And yeah, we met. We met back in August. And so, yeah, see, my nose is running. Give me 1 second. But yeah, we met back in August. I think like 2 days after we met via phone, we met in person, and it's been amazing ever since for both of us. We're very much alike, and it's nice. I will, like I said, have a sit down video. I don't know if I'm going to put him on the channel. I will talk to him about that, but I doubt that I will put him on the channel. Will I ever show his face? I don't think I will. I'll post pictures, but his face will not be seen. I want to protect this. And after the last situation where I was openly putting the person I was with on my channel and on my social media, I just rather not do that right now. Unless I'm engaged or married. Then I'll do that. Not even engaged, because, you know, yeah. But I might show you guys his face once or twice, maybe, don't know. But it's been amazing. Like, it's really been amazing, and things have been, they've been amazing. And I know somebody asked me, is it just me, like, wanting a relationship? No, because I was settled and content with not being with anyone. When I say it literally was funny how we both met, because neither one of us was looking for anything, like nothing. I think we had actually discussed this. I asked if he was looking for a relationship, and he was like, no. It wasn't that he was closed off. He was open to it, but he wasn't looking either. And it was like, yeah, I was the same way. I wasn't looking, but I was open to it. And so, like, if God was like, hey, here's somebody, I was open to it. But it wasn't like, I'm like, where he at type thing. Like, no. I was just over life at that point. I was over life. And so it has been amazing. It really has been amazing. And he is an amazing guy, and he is handsome, and he's intelligent, and he's hardworking, and he's intentional, and I think that for me is what does it. It's the intention behind getting to know me as a person. He's not turned off that I'm a mom, and that was like my biggest thing, finding somebody that wouldn't mind me being a mom. So yeah, I think that's every like single mother's thing, is like finding someone that will love her like her, and then also care about their kids, right? Because I don't need like a father for my son, right? Because my son has a father. But my prayer was, and I think I mentioned this in like a Q&A, was that I really wanted the next person that I got with to, one, be my last, to actually be my husband. And then two, I wanted a man that my son could look up to as godly influence outside of the men in my church, but that the person that I choose to get with, that they would be a godly influence in my son's life. And it's been amazing. And though it's been a short amount of time, there's been a lot of things seen. And so yeah, my family knows, my leaders at church know, well, my bishop knows, and so it's just a matter of him meeting my family in person. He's spoken to my brother on the phone the other day, and so yeah, it's just a matter of meeting my family and then meeting my leaders from church. But I'm happy. I'm genuinely happy. I'm smiling a lot more than usual, that was also a big thing for me, is that I wanted to be with someone that could genuinely make me smile. I think I mentioned in previous videos that I don't smile. I don't like to smile. I don't like to show my teeth. I haven't smiled in over 30 odd years. Like, genuinely smiled. And though, like, I hang out with my friends and they try, my sisters from church, and they try their best, I have not genuinely smiled in forever. And when I'm going to post a picture when we met for the second time in person. And how big my smile was. Like, that, it shocked everybody because I don't smile. I don't. That's one thing about me, is you'll get a smirk out of me. Like, if I go like that, like I cover up my smile, I don't smile. And so that photo, for a lot of my friends, when they snapped that picture of me, they snapped it because they were like, she's genuinely smiling. And like, I had just took a picture with one of my bros from church, and I gave a little smile or whatever. But then when I hugged the guy, it was like a genuine, I don't know how to explain it, but I haven't smiled in forever, and he gets me to genuinely smile. So yeah, that's just a little bit about it, because I know a lot of you guys have been like asking me here and there. I'm gonna have a full sit down video about it and about him, how we met and all that. But as far as him being on my channel, I don't know. I'm gonna speak to him about that first to see if he's okay with it. But I'm probably not gonna do it. Probably not. I want to enjoy it, because sometimes I get that little bit of mom guilt, especially with everything going on with the situation with my son. I get mom guilt a lot, and I have to remind myself that I don't need to feel guilty about wanting to be happy, right? About this new relationship that's blossoming. And I know it's a trick of the enemy, because I prayed, y'all. I prayed, and Jesus be answering my prayers. And I talked about it in the previous video. I'll be like, listen, God, I ain't about to text this man because I'm tired. If he don't text me X, Y, and Z, and I promise you within 2 to 5 minutes, this man will text me exactly what I just prayed to the Lord. And so it's not me saying that he's like the one that God has for me, right? Because I never want to go into a relationship saying that's the one God has for me. But I'm not guarded, but I'm guarded. And my prayers are very much, I'm praying consistently, because I don't have the capacity to be hurt again. And I genuinely like him. It's such an ease being with him, talking with him, for both of us. And it's so crazy that everyone, I'm not gonna talk about it no more, but yeah. I'm off the market, and it's nice. It's nice. It's nice. Like I said, I'll talk more about it in depth, and how I was able to get through those years of being single and what my prayers were. because I had very specific prayers. Hold on. Sorry about that. I got a phone call and then I just opened up my computer so I could start schoolwork soon. But yeah, I had very specific prayers and that I prayed, and very specific things that I did. And even when it came down to doing this, I hated doing this. I did. But I found that if you guys don't know what this is my future husband, prayer journal. When the Lord told me to do this, I was like, for what? For why? I was upset. He had told me to do this back in June of 2021. We had officially broken up, I believe, April of 2021. So it was April, May, June. 2 months later, he told me to start writing. And I was like, for what? I didn't want to do it. I think the second letter, I literally said, I'll be honest, this is 100% awkward for me. And I'm not sure how to feel considering about what had transpired. But I would literally write in this very sporadically. Like, I wrote in it twice for June of 2021. Didn't do it in July. I wrote once in August, once in September. Actually, no, I wrote 5 times in September. Didn't write again until November. Didn't write again until February 2022. Then wrote in April 2022. Then October 2022. That one was like 4 pages long. And then I think after October 2022, I wrote like 5 times. I wrote in November twice. December, I wrote in it twice. 3 times. I wrote once January, once February, once March, once April, once in May, once in June, once in July, twice in July. And then I think right before he and I met, I wrote in it 4 times. I wrote in it the day before we met and the day we met. And so, yeah, I still have a couple of more pages in here to go to write. And so I am going to fill this up with more prayers and thoughts and letters. It's literally just me praying to God about my future husband. It's me writing letters to my future husband. And some people say it's a hit or miss. I am still in the mix of when I write in this, it's very intentional in that I am praying for my future spouse, whether that is their mind, their heart, their purity, their financial, their work. I'm very intentional in my prayers. Or I write like date night ideas, or I just write little notes to him so that on my wedding day I can at least say in my season of waiting I had at least did something. And so it keeps me accountable to myself and keeps me intentional with the people that I talk to. But yeah, I'm happy. I'm very much happy with my friend or whatever. But I'll give you guys more information down the line. It's just been really, really great. Really great. And I'm always smiling. So yeah. But yeah, you'll get the full story on how we met and things like that. Just know it was definitely through mutual friends and friends that I trust, that I consider bro and sis. So yeah, it's been amazing, and I'm enjoying it despite all the things that are going on in my life. Obviously, that's like wreaking havoc. I'm grateful. I'm very grateful, and very much so praying my way through this, because I never want to make the wrong move. So yeah, but that's all. Ooh, I'm gonna go in this video because this video is long, which means it's gonna be a lot to edit. It probably won't go up on Wednesday because I'm recording this on Wednesday. So if it goes up on Wednesday, it'll be Wednesday night. If not, it'll go up on Saturday. But we're gonna try to get this up on Wednesday. But yeah, I'm gonna go and see you guys in the next video. The next video will be a what's in my book bag, school book bag, sharing that with you guys. I still got that video I gotta edit, so I'm gonna try to get that the first 2 weeks of school block up for you guys next Saturday, because I'm gonna edit it this week. Yeah, I'm editing this week. So that's that for now. I'm gonna go. If you made it to the end of this video, post up that emoji so that I know you watched all the way to the end. If you are partaking in the Journey Through the Bible Readathon, let me know. I'm super excited. Again, thank you, Katie, again, for hosting the second round of this. I am so stoked, and I love the prompts. I love just the way that you created this, and so I'm super excited. I'm hopeful to at least get 6 of these books read. Fingers crossed. But we don't know, because the way school is really schooling. But yeah, I'm gonna go, and I'll chat with you all in the next video. Bye.